Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of Knitknacker Natters, take 2. Happy New Year! It's 2017, and the reason this is take 2 is because today is Thursday the 12th of January, and I actually did a podcast. I filmed a podcast last week, but if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that my phone had a bit of a mishap, and I'm going to leave it there. But we've had some technical issues. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it's going to be okay this time around. So I should introduce myself. I'm Fatema. This is a crafting podcast where I mainly talk about kind of knitting and crochet, some spinning, some other crafty things that I might be getting up to, and a little bit about my life in Singapore. I'm originally from the UK, and I am currently living in Southeast Asia. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram and Periscope as Knitknacker. It will be down below. There is a Ravelry group for the podcast called Knitknacker Natters, and I also have a website and blog called knitknackercrafts.com. The website is more kind of to do with my technical editing life and other things, I should say. But as of my last episode, I am trying to upload show notes, and they're usually there, so you can check it out. So a very big welcome to everyone who is returning, and to all those new subscribers, because we've had such a lot of people come to check the podcast out, and that's thanks to a lot of my other podcasting friends. So much love to everyone who has inspired you guys to come and check this out, and thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope this doesn't disappoint, and get involved. I love hearing from all of you, so I'd love to have you comment down below, or on the Ravelry group, or you can even send me messages. We have some exciting things happening this year, and the first thing is the Wonders of the World Cal, which is an amazing 6-month venture, or rather fibre art journey that I'm involved in with 5 other amazing podcasters on 5 other continents. I'm going to chat a little bit about that in a bit, but I just wanted to say, I think because of that, we managed to hit the 500 subscriber mark on YouTube. So I think it was last week I had posted a giveaway on Instagram, and I had said that once we hit 500, we were really close, we were like literally a couple of subscribers off, I would be giving away this lovely skein from Nald Paul. Sorry, it's upside down, on their proper sock base, called Modern Art. I don't know if you can pick out the rich colours. It's absolutely stunning. It's kind of got reds, pinks, oranges, yellows, greens, purples, blues. So yes, this amazing skein, and a little cross stitch sampler as well. And when I filmed take 1 of episode 10, we were on 499, so I had said I would announce the winner on whenever we hit 500, so the next episode. But we are over 500 now. I think we're around 538. So I'm gonna announce the winner now. Okay, so I've plugged in the numbers, and the winner is Shauna Stitches of the Shauna Stitches podcast. So congratulations. Can you PM me your address, Shauna, so I can get your prize off to you in the post? So, Cal News, I am so excited that I can finally share the Wonders of the World Cal with all of you guys. It's been something that's been happening behind the scenes for a couple of months, and it was really difficult to keep it under wraps because it was just so exciting. It kind of started out as one idea that I shared with Grace, and it blossomed into what it is today, which is fantastic. So if you guys don't know, it's a 6-month knit along / crochet along that is going to hopefully lead us on a fibre art adventure across 6 continents with 6 different podcasters. So I'm going to try and insert the Instagram trailer for the Cal right here.
I need your help with something.
Fatema, this is huge. We're gonna need some help.
Is that it's January, so we're over with Grace in Australia, Grace of the Babbles Travelling Yarns podcast, and she's already been chatting away and knitting away like a beaver, trying out different yarns from both Australia and New Zealand, new designers and patterns, so do go and check her out. She has a chatter and an FO thread over in her group, and we've also opened a kind of a very general Wonders of the World Cal group on Ravelry, which you know we'd love for you to join. It might not show up under group straight away just because there isn't any artwork attached to it, which we really should remedy, I think. There is a general kind of chatter thread on there, and although this is a fibre arts adventure, we'd like for you to chat about anything related to the Cal in any way. So favourite places to knit, please upload your pictures. If you either live in Australia, New Zealand at the moment, or you've been there, we'd love to see your favourite places. We'd love for you to share recipes with us. Keep updating us on kind of designers or indie dyers or yarn brands that you know about that we might not know about, so that we can update our lists, because we've got lists of designers, etc. up there as well. Rest assured they're not exhaustive lists, because it's quite hard to keep on top of all of that, but we're trying to keep things as up to date as we can. So whenever there are suggestions coming up, Grace has been fantastic at updating the Australasia list so far. So we'd love for you to get involved. I'm going to be showing you what my Australian designer pattern that I'm knitting is in a moment. One of the things that I'm really excited to share with you guys is this. So, as part of the Wonders of the World Cal, I've been working behind the scenes with Joan of My Yarn Story Company, who is a Singaporean indie dyer. to come up with a mini skein set that will be used for prizes during the 6 months. And she has taken each of the continents and come up, might be easier to see it this way around, come up with skeins to represent each of the 6 continents that we're going to be podcasting from. So at the moment we're in Australasia, and you see this one here, that's the one for January, and it's based on the flora and fauna of the continent. If I'm not mistaken, this is Asia, but we will chat more about that in a bit, or rather in the future. So I'm really excited because there will be kind of sets winging their way to people throughout the 6 months as prizes, and that was a really fun project to work on. Before I kind of move on, one last thing. The Wonders of the World Cow group also has a thread about the cow's official hat pattern. So if you've been watching Grace, she'll have told you that she came across this pattern for the hemisphere hat by Nettles. And she's an Australian designer, and the hat is a really lovely hat. It's done in double knitting, so a new skill for me, and it's got the continents of the world on it, and we just thought, we both kind of fell in love with it, and we thought it was perfect, and we thought it'd be a perfect kind of 6-month project. So if you've never double knit, you can try it, and if you have, hopefully it'll be something fun that's associated with the world, which would be perfect. So there's information on the group about the hat, about that kind of mini cow within the cow, and there was a discount code for the pattern. I'm not sure if it's still valid. I'm really sorry. Basically, when I podcast last week, it was still valid, but do check out the details on the thread for more information. People are already kind of choosing their yarn. I've ordered my yarn, so hopefully I can share that with you next time round. I want to make the hat for my brother for his birthday. His birthday's at the beginning of Feb, so I think it's going to be a belated gift because I don't know how to double knit. But let's see how we get along. Okay, moving on to what I'm working on at the moment. I don't have any FOs. I have one finished square on my Cozy Memories blanket, but I didn't think it was enough to show you guys, so we'll just move on to whips. So I'm going to start with my Wonders of the World project for January, which is housed in my Lone Larch Designs bag, and that is the Midnight in Sydney shawl by the designer Meg Gadsby. I'm going to insert a picture here if I can, because I've printed off the pattern in black and white, and you can't really see very much through that. It's a crescent shaped shawl with a lace border, and I have just finished the body and started on the lace, and I'm doing it, I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but I'm doing it in this lovely sparkle sock by Debonair Yarns in the colourway Jet, which is like a bluey black, and it's so sparkly and it's so soft, and I'm really enjoying working with it. The body of this pattern is in garter stitch, and it works up really, really quickly, and yeah, like I said, I've just started on the lace, so you can't really see very much at the moment. It's going to be a birthday present for my mum, and So I wanted something that wasn't going to take me too long because I have other things on the needles as well. I'm using higher sharps in the 4.5 millimeter in 4.5 millimeters. Meg has very generously donated quite a few of her patterns as prizes for the Cal. So be sure to check her out. See what you'd like to knit from hers. I think there's going to be a pattern, a prize pattern for Australia. There's one for Asia and there's one for Europe. Meg is originally from the UK, so hence Britain stuck in my head. Be sure to check out her patterns. I'll try and put more details about the prizes on the Cal thread. Right, moving on. So something that you guys have seen, my other kind of shawl that I've been working on at the moment is my blustery shawl by Marsha Abuki. So as you guys will remember, I cast this on as soon as it kind of came out. It kind of went on hold because I had a few other things to do and a really busy December. When I showed it to you last, let me see, I've still got the progress keeper here. I was here. So I had literally just done the first row of the second short row shaping section, and I've managed to finish the border in between, and I'm now starting on the striping section, which you can't really see, but I've just introduced the speckled kind of colourway again. I love this. This is such a fun pattern to knit on, and it has enough going on to keep your interest as well. I've kind of been paying more attention to my Midnight in Sydney shawl just because I want to get it finished so I can get it posted to my mum soon. So I haven't done as much on this as I would have liked in the last week and a half. In fact, I've not done anything on it in the last week and a half, but I think it's beautiful. I am using a Homespun House yarns. This is her, just trying to get the right colour. So this is what I'm using for the garter section, which is the colourway Peony. Not quite sure why I keep saying Peony, but it's Peony. On her Dale fingering, and this is 100% 19 micron merino. It's really lovely and soft. It's a pleasure to work with. The other one, a speckled yarn, is called Midnight in Berlin. Berlin Sunset. Apologies, Berlin Sunset, and this is on her Olsen fingering, which is 75% superwash BFL and 25% nylon. Apologies for the really messy cakes. As I've mentioned on the podcast before, I just have this very temperamental winder which makes beautiful cakes, but the minute you start pulling out the yarn from the middle, it all gets tangled and messy and just awful. I have been kind of looking on Instagram, and I think a few people have maybe even mentioned on podcasts that one way to get nice airy cakes and hopefully to stop tangles is to double wind. So where you kind of wind up your ball and then rewind it from the centre, from the ball, from the cake. Does that make sense? So I'm going to try that when I next wind yarn. And see if that helps. So just to let you guys know, I'm using 5mm high sharps, and I love this. It's so lovely and soft. I'm really excited about this project and I can't wait to get it finished, but it's not top priority at the moment, just because I want to get this birthday gift finished for my mum so I can get it posted It's in my Stitch and You bag, which I love. How cute is this? So yeah. Next up, what do I have? Oh, my speckled space socks. I've not done very much on these. It's appalling, so I'm not even sure why I'm showing you these. These are my speckled space socks. I was literally here, so I've done that much since I podcast last. This is on my yarn story company Yarn in the colourway Honeybee, which was a commission that I had done from Joan for my BCal, to be or not to BCal, last year, and it's on her 7525. And this lovely stitch marker is a gift from Jenny of Lone Larch Designs, and it's the Remembrances Pottery. Remembrances Pottery. It's from Remembrances Pottery. It's one of her stitch markers. So I love this. I love the colourway. I mean, you can see the colourway better here. I'm enjoying this. I think what's slowing me down is just the fact that I'm using a cable needle, and I know people have been knitting this pattern by Amanda Stevens, and it's been flying off their needles. So I want to know, do you cable without a cable needle or not? So yeah, I'll show you what the colourway is like. Sorry, the lighting is not fantastic. That's slightly better. I am using 2.25mm needles. They're Knit Pro Sings. They're the fixed circular. I mentioned before that I wanted to do 2 at a time socks, and tried countless times and got frustrated and then stuck to one. But I know what I was doing wrong, so hopefully next time around it will be easier to cast 2 at a time on. This is the medium size. I think that's 64 stitches. Now normally I do about a 60, but somewhere in the pattern it said something about the cabling causing it to be a little bit tight in the leg, so I thought doing the medium would be fine. I also didn't want to work out maths, so there we go. In my Mrs. Brown's bags, and I have a final project which is also in Mrs. Brown's bags, and that's another sock, which I cast on just before New Year's, and it's, oh, am I here? It's a plain vanilla sock. Like I said, I cast on 60 stitches. I've done a 2x2 rib and a very short 10-row cuff. Now the reason for the short 10-row cuff is because this is my first time working with 9-inch circulars. I bought one 9-inch circular, not even a set, one 9-inch circular last year. I think everyone was trying them out. I wanted to try them out. I've never gotten round to it, and I thought I'd give it a go. I am finding that doing the stockinette section, so the leg section, goes by really quickly on 9-inch circs. My hand was initially cramping quite a bit, but I think that was from the purling. So I'm really struggling with purling on 9-inch circs. I find it really fiddly, I find it quite slow, and I think after 10 rows I just gave up Normally I do a 15 to 20 row cuff, but I couldn't do it anymore. And I kind of had the same trouble when I did the heel. So I do a fish lips kiss heel, and when I was purling, it was really, really challenging. I couldn't decide whether or not I should do the heel on the needle or take the stitches off the needle onto a long circular and do it that way. So I kind of did one row on the circular, took them off, and then decided no, I wanted to try it on the 9-inch, so I put them back on. It was probably the slowest fish lips kiss heel that I have ever done. I'd love to hear from you guys if you knit on 9-inch circulars, and I know people either love them or hate them. How do you do your heels? Are you fish lips kiss heel people? Are you kind of gusset people? And just what's your method of kind of doing heels on 9-inch circs? I think in future I'd probably take them off just to make it faster, and because the purling kills my hand. But other than that, it's now that I'm kind of used to the motions and how to hold the fabric and the needles and the yarn, it's fun. I had a knitting date with a friend of mine over here earlier this week, and she could see me struggling along, and she said to me, why don't you just do a long tube and then do an afterthought heel, which is so super clever, and why did I not think about it? The only thing that makes me a little bit worried is that I've never done an afterthought heel, but she said it's super easy. So I might give that a go, not on this pair because I want them to be the same, but maybe on the next pair. So I've been babbling on about the socks and working on 9-inch circulars, but I didn't tell you what yarn I'm using. So I'm using the Cozy Knitter, and this is her Bliss base, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. You get a hefty 115 grams, and it kind of comes in the colorway, and then you get a separate skein for kind of the cuff, heels and toes. This wasn't wound up, this was already caked up, so I didn't realise how much I had. So when I started, I kind of just started with this yarn. Did I tell you guys it's called Princess Party? It's called Princess Party. I don't know if you can tell, but it's basically kind of the cream pink, and then within the cream there's a small section where you get speckles. There you go. Which I thought was quite cute. I reckon if you had kind of stripy socks with kind of smaller stripy sections, these would fly off the needles. I can understand why people like them, I just don't like purling, and I don't think I would use 9-inch circulars if I had to do a patterned sock again. I don't know. Does anyone else have issues with purling on 9-inch circs? Does it get easier or better? My hand just really cramps and it's slow and not fun. But I'm happy with the progress I've made so far. I have so many socks on the needles at various stages. I need to finish them. I'm not really one for New Year's resolutions. So I know that on New Year's Eve, my husband kept saying to me, what are your resolutions for next year? And I kept saying, I don't do resolutions because more often than not, they're not doable, or I don't get around to doing them and then I feel quite disheartened. But I'm gonna give myself certain goals, and I really do want to be good at knitting socks. And there are so many sock cals going on at the moment to kind of get me motivated. But I just have so many whips, and I really need to get them all off the needles. I've been watching a couple of podcasts that just kind of the New Year's, post New Year's ones, and people have been showing their whips or talking about their goals, and I'm like, if I were to show you guys my whips, this would be very, 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 very long, and I think it would be very overwhelming for me. So one of the things I'm going to do to make it slightly more manageable is say to myself that I have to try and finish at least one whip every month, and if I do better than that, bonus. I think that's the only way it's going to be realistic for me, because otherwise it's just not going to happen. This month is a really busy month. Actually, the next 2 or 3 months are quite busy months for me, but more about that later. So yeah, these are the last things that I've been working on. I think when it comes down to getting my sock recipe, I like working on 2.25. I like the fabric that it gives me. I think 60 stitches works for my foot generally, but if I've got this leg is, I think, about 78 rows, including the 10 rows of ribbing, so it's about 68 just of the leg. I think my calf gets bigger here. I'm tempted to kind of do my ribbing next time round in 64 stitches, decrease down to 60, and then carry on, or if I'm doing a 1x1, then 62, just to see if that makes a difference. My other option is to go up to a 2.5mm needle, but I prefer this fabric, and I'm just worried that it will be a little bit, there'll be less negative ease on the actual leg and foot, so it won't be quite a snug fit. Still working it out. So yeah, I think these are higher if I'm not mistaken. I think they're higher sharps. So yeah. Okay. What else? So those are kind of the whips that I've been working on recently. There's loads of things I want to cast on, but I really shouldn't. One of the things that I would really like to cast on is a garment for myself. I have yarn that I bought to make a featherweight in February last year, which I haven't even swatched. I have yarn that I bought to make myself, what's that Knitknacker Natters pattern? The really basic one, I know. I'll put it down here. I bought yarn for that kind of jumper, and I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before, the girls from Knitknacker Knits have done variations on that pattern, which is a free pattern, to include either a cable or lace. So I need to go and check out their blog post, because I saw that on Instagram, and it looks really interesting, because it'd be really nice to add a little bit of detail to the cardigan. Jumper. So I'm going to go and check out the blog post on that. It's probably not something I'm going to cast on this month. It might be February or March time. Let's see. I really want to cast on the All About Brioche shawl, but again, it's going to have to be a few months down the line, because I need need to get some stuff done. So yeah, what kind of things do you guys have planned for 2017? Any particular techniques that you want to learn? There are two for me, which is the brioche and the double knitting. The brioche is something that I've wanted to do for like forever. Double knitting, meh, I go through phases, but I think now I need to learn for the hemisphere hat, so let's see. I'd love to hear about your knitting goals for this year. I'd love to hear about any new techniques that you'd like to try out. It'd be a great way for us to motivate each other. Okay, so let's move on to acquisition. So I've got a few things. I didn't have as much last week, but I've got a few things to show you. I'm going to start off with a bit of wool piggery. I had mentioned on my last podcast that I had failed knit 1,000 grams because I had been tempted by a wool barn update, and how I was looking out for the wool every day, but then I realised that actually I had it posted to the UK just to save on shipping, and because none of it was stuff I needed immediately. Over Christmas I was in KL, and one of my aunts had flown down. She was holidaying in Phuket, and she had brought 2 big suitcases full of goodies from my family with her for us, and amongst the myriads of toys for my son and chocolate and all that kind of stuff was my wool barn order. So apologies for the crinkling, but here it is. So I bought 2 skeins of this gorgeous lustrous sock, which is a fingering 70% superwash BFL, 20% silk and 10% cashmere blend. It's a lustrous sock in the colourway Orchid. I bought 2 skeins of this, and I'm assuming that means that I had a project in mind, but now for the life of me can't remember what it was. It's so my colour. I love it. Can you see the shine on it? I'm sorry, the lighting is a little bit off today. It's like 3 lighting changes in 10 seconds or less. I bought 2 skeins of her Bellissima base in, here we go, sand, which is this one, and champagne, and they're fingering weights as well, and they're MCM. So I thought I could always use neutrals. I love this. How gorgeous is this? This is so shiny. This, you can't see the shine as obviously on camera, but it's also really, really shiny. So it's blowing out. And then the last 2 that I got, I thought they were the same base, but they're not. So this one is yak singles. How interesting is that? It's 65% superwash merino, 20% silk, and 15% yak in the silver berries colourway. And this one is silky singles, 70% superwash merino, 30% silk, and this is in the violets colourways. So I know I'm a purple gal, but I could have sworn that her update was heavy on my colours, and that's what I'm going to blame for my huge wool piggery. I've just realised, which I didn't because I didn't look up that close, but this the silky singles, it's this gorgeous kind of mauvey colour, and then purples, and you've got some dark blues, and there's quite a bit of speckling in here as well. It's so pretty. These are our special skeins, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with them, which is why it's all hickory. Okay, there is a bit more yarn. And this purchase is from Papiput Yarns. Papiput Yarns is, or the dye behind it is Amelia, and it's an Indonesian indie dyer, and I have had my eye on this dyer for some time before I'd even moved to Southeast Asia. She has really affordable, absolutely stunning colorways, like super affordable. Look at this. This kind of goes all the way from a mint green to a cool blue with everything in between. Is that better? Not really. Sorry, it's not showing up as well. But I have put this on my Instagram feed so you can check it out. Both of these are on the same base. They're 75-25, and you get 400 meters in 100 grams. And this is the other one. How gorgeous is this? So you've got like an aubergine colour, you've got yellows, deep orange, like a rosy pink, and then the cream. I love this. Amelia is a genius. I'm gonna see if I can use one of these skeins for WOW Asia, which is in March. So I'm hosting WOW Asia in March as part of the Wonders of the World Cal, and I think I'm probably going to use one of these skeins in that month. I'm still kind of deciding what it is that I want to knit for WOW Asia. Yeah. So that's my Papiput yarn. She sells on Etsy if anyone's interested in finding out more. And then the next two are gifts. One of them is this gorgeous skein from Mothie and the Squid called Grey Skies Rainbow by my amazing friend Claire, who I met earlier this week. It's the sock, superwash DK sock, and you get 224 meters in 100 grams. And she was visiting her family over Christmas in the US, went yarn shopping, saw this, and picked up a skein for me. So I am so excited about this. I can't decide what to make, whether or not I should make a hat, some house slipper socks, or some DK socks. What do you guys think? I love how this is going to turn out, because it's got all the kind of colours on one end, so I think it's going to have blips. I should have asked her, because she said there was a swatch knitted up, and she said it looked really good, but I'm assuming it's going to be kind of blips of colour. So yeah, that was a lovely gift. And then, can you see this? Yeah, my husband got me a very belated birthday present, but I got my hopefully first Fringe Supply company bag. This has been coveted for forever, and oh my gosh, I love this. I love the fact that it's canvas, that it stands up, that it's got a handle, and it's drawstring too, so nothing gets caught. I don't have any projects in it, obviously, because I can't think what to put in it, but I think this is going to be such a great travel buddy. So yeah, I am part of the Fringe Supply Club now. I was chatting to Claire and telling her about this, and she was saying to me that she doesn't actually have any project bags, and she said she knows it's a litter thing, but she pops her knitting in canvas bags or totes. She said they're really practical, and I was just like, oh my gosh, can't believe it. I'm such a project bag fiend. I love them. So yeah, Fringe Supply. So that's pretty much it for kind of acquisitions and presents. Oh, I should mention, when Claire gave me this gorgeous skein, she also gave me some minis, which are over there, for my sock blanket. Not sock blanket, Cozy Memories blanket. So I will show you maybe once I've knit them up. But it was really, really sweet of her. Okay, so moving on to life. So for those of you who are only here for the kind of crafty bits, you're more than welcome to stick around. There might be some craft related stuff, but otherwise it's just me chatting about life here. Usually I do have a culture segment, but January is very busy and I kind of don't. So, did you guys have an amazing holiday season? We had quite a busy one. My brother-in-law got married. We went on a road trip. We went to Indonesia, and you might have seen the little vlog that I did. We went on a road trip to KL. So we live in West Singapore, and you can drive over to Malaysia from here on the causeway. It takes about 20 minutes, half an hour to get to the immigration point from where we are, but we went on I think we left on Christmas Eve, and despite leaving at 7 something in the morning, there was so much traffic, and a journey that's supposed to take us 4 hours took us 8 and a bit, which with a toddler is definitely interesting. And FYI, if you ever decide to drive in Malaysia, people are crazy drivers there. I think in part the traffic was because of the holidays, partly because there were so many accidents on the road, and there were just lots of traffic jams because of it. People tailgate like crazy, so it was definitely an experience for me. We had gone up to KL because, as I said earlier, one of my aunts was over in Thailand on holiday, and she wanted to see us and to see my son. So we decided to kind of meet in KL, which was lovely. It was super short, probably because of how long it took us to get to KL in the first place. So we were only there for a day and a half, but it was so nice to see family from home and experience Christmas in a different country. I've never been out on on Christmas Eve before. If I'm ever in the UK, my community is part of an interfaith group, so we would often go for kind of Christmas Eve or midnight mass on Christmas Eve, technically not Christmas Eve. So we've not been out, or I've never been out on the town on Christmas Eve. I don't even know if people normally do that, but we went out to eat and got stuck in a mass of people that were out celebrating, which was definitely very new to me. So that was an experience. What else? January, New Year's in comparison was much more kind of low-key. We stayed home because of my son's bedtime, and I knit, we watched a movie, we heard rather than saw the fireworks, and then it was January and the beginning of the Wonders of the World Count, so I got a little bit busy with that. And January generally is a busy month for me because my son turns 1, so we're planning a birthday party for him towards the end of the month. It's my mum's birthday. I have exams coming up and I am so behind on my studying, which is pretty much what I'm going to be doing today after I've finished podcasting. So this probably won't be edited and uploaded until, well, tomorrow/Saturday. I'm really behind just because we had so many things going on, and I have exams first or second week of Feb. So yeah. That's pretty much it. I've been working on a business plan for a different part of my kind of Knitknacker crafts business. Towards the end of last year, I was really getting into essential oils and working with essential oils, and I've created some wellness wax melts. The idea behind them, everyone knows Sensi, and there are so many other kind of brands of wax melts, but the idea behind them was to create wax melts that had a health benefit or association with them. So I've come up with kind of 4 essential oil blends that hopefully will work for kind of memory and concentration, with sleep, general kind of wellness and uplifting mood, and then there's kind of a relaxing / romance blend as well, and I've been kind of working on producing those blends, and I'm quite happy with what I have at present. It's just a case of again waiting for certain things to fall into place. I haven't managed to sort out my packaging yet, which is one of the big things at the moment. I wanted to do something that using either recycled material or that was reusable. So we're getting there slowly. I'm really excited about them because I have been testing them out both myself and with friends and my husband's colleagues, and people seem to like them. So that's something that I am currently working on, but it's again separate to the podcast, separate to the knitting. I had been chatting to Connie from the Chilly Knits podcast about kind of candle making, and showing her some of the candles that I had made, and I have some yarn ball candles. Let me see if I can try and insert a picture here. And she was so excited about them, so I decided to make some wax melts in kind of yarn ball shapes, and I specially ordered these molds from the US, and the end product was just not good. For some reason, I don't know if it's just the kind of the proportions or the ratios of wax, etc., that I'm using. It doesn't seem to hold a yarn ball shape very well, or rather it just looks like a splodge, almost like a scoop of ice cream or mashed potato rather than a yarn ball. So I won't be I won't be doing very much about those, and the molds will probably be kind of popped onto eBay or something. So yeah, it's exciting, but busy. So I'm kind of trying to find knitting or crafting time as much as I can, but my focus for kind of the latter part of this month and the beginning of Feb is going to be exams and kind of birthday related stuff, but hopefully some exciting things to come in the future for me. I had mentioned that I had been I was going on a job interview in my last podcast, and that happened. It was very bizarre. I was in an interview with kind of the boss of this big private medical group, and it was an hour long, and we spent pretty much the entire hour talking about nothing medical. I think there are certain things that I'm used to when it comes to a professional interview, certain things that you're not allowed to ask or to talk about, and over here it seemed pretty normal to ask very personal questions and to talk about things that I didn't feel very comfortable sharing. So it was a very interesting experience for me. Nothing has really come of it, but that's not a bad thing, because I'm not sure how much I loved the interview process, and there are certain things that I like to keep private about myself, so it would definitely be an interesting environment to work in. I have sent out CVs to some other places, but I'm not really looking to start work just yet anyway, so let's see what happens. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's really lovely to chat with you guys after such a long time. I'm so sorry about last week. It was all there, it was ready, but phone issues. So I apologise for that. I usually kind of podcast on a fortnightly basis, so technically, according to my schedule, I should be podcasting again next week. I will if I have enough stuff to show you, but if I don't, then I won't, and we'll have to readjust the schedule accordingly. So let's see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you liked the episode. If you do, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.